Hey everybody! Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Heather, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We are doing something relatively fast, super fun, really beginner friendly, and a free pattern today. Today, we are making the beginner bag from Pink Pony Design. It says beginner right in the title, so it's definitely beginner friendly. Again, we're making the beginner bag from Pink Pony Design. I will link the pattern and all the materials that I can below as well so that you have it. And you guys, here's what she looks like. It is a quilted tote bag with a full zipper closure. Just gonna get the inside. We'll go through this more in detail as we move our way through the pattern and look at it together as a whole once we're all done. But this tote bag pattern is one of my favorites, and we hadn't been doing a lot of free patterns lately or even beginner-ish friendly, so I thought we'd sprinkle in a few extras since we missed some during the summer as we sort of move on through the year here so that we can have a good sprinkling of free. You know that I think free patterns are super important, especially for beginners, because it gives you an idea of how a pattern writer writes their patterns, what sorts of pictures they use, what they use for abbreviations, their typical seam allowances, and you don't have to pay for it. You get it for free. And I think that that is such a great way to build your skills. And that's a lot of what we do here on this channel is skill building. So we do full tutorials. It is very rare that I'll skip over anything or that I'll do something sort of off camera unless it's completely the same as something we've already done. So keep that in mind as you watch. We'll move into our materials and our sewing, and I'll see you back here at the end for our final version of our beginner bag from Pink Pony Designs. All right, so here we are with our materials. We have 3/4 inch webbing that we're going to use for straps. You guys, I don't remember where this came from. But we're going to use webbing instead of making our own. I thought it would be a nice little touch. We have everything we need for our zipper. So we've got 2 zipper tabs. And then we have this really pretty blue number 5 zipper tape. This is from Saya Swag. Our zipper tabs are part of our main fabric, and our main fabric is from, our main exterior fabric is from Wonderground, and it's pre-quilted. We also have a zipper pull to go on our zipper tape. We're using a metal bag tag today. Here. And this is the washer for our bag tag. Okay, so then the pieces, we are doing the slip pocket on the inside, and I have cut out a 1 inch wide piece of our exterior, which we will use as a top facing for our slip pocket. We also have our 2 zip pocket panel pieces, and we are going to use the same number 5 zipper tape as our main zipper for this as well. We have our main lining pieces, and this is all a canvas, the interior, from Itchin' to Get Stitchin'. It is one of their watercolor beauties. Very fun. And then we've got our main panels for the exterior, which is that pre-quilted vinyl from Wonderground Fabrics. So you can see the back. We don't need to interface anything here today. And we don't need to quilt. So the bag or the pattern has instructions for quilting, which you can absolutely do. I like to use pre-quilted on most occasions because it saves me some time, and if I'm looking for something fun that looks quilted and fresh and ready to go, this pre-quilted material is always my go-to. So let's head on over to the sewing machine and get going on our tote bag. Okay, so we're going to start with our interior panels by adding our pockets and sort of everything that we need. We're going to do our prep work before we put together our bag. As we go along, you will see I'm just marking centers on the top and the bottom of our pieces. Now, I love a slip pocket that goes all the way across because it makes it so easy to construct. By the way, we're at the machine, which is a Juki TL 2010Q. So, because our pocket goes and gets sewn into the seam, the only thing that we have to do is sew our top, which is why I went ahead and cut us a strip of our exterior, because we'll be able to just plop that on, sew it together, and then it makes for a really nice finished pocket, and then all we have to do is sew on and sew our compartments in. It's easy. Big fan. All right, so we're going to start by just sewing together our pocket. You can see and if you've watched me before, you know I'm not a good cutter. Can't cut anything evenly. It's a problem. So I'm just going to make sure that we are lined up, and we are. So I'm going to use this top panel as our guide, and I'm just going to baste this together so I can cut off the excess before we add on the top. And this is wrong side to wrong side. Okay, so see, we have two right sides facing out. And I'm just, like I said, going to cut off anything that's extra up top just to make it nice and even. And if you're a good cutter, you won't have to do this step. If you're not like me, that's okay. Easy fix. Okay. Now, you can be super precise with this, or you can eyeball it, but you're basically just finding the center of your piece. And like I said, it's 1 inch wide, and it's just the same length as our slip pocket. And so we're just going to take our facing, make sure it's evenly folded, and we're going to clip it on, and we're going to do that all the way down the top of our pocket. We're also using Tex 35 weight thread from Wizardry Stitchery in our machine today. Okay. So we have that clipped on, it looks even. We are just going to sew first here at the top. Actually, we're going to sew down at that 1/4 inch mark. I am back stitching. we have caught everything that we need to. Just gonna find my little scissors, which always go missing. We're gonna cut off any excess that we have. And then we're gonna line our pocket up, and it just gives it just a little extra zhuzh there. We're gonna go up 1.5 from the corner. And we're just gonna clip that in place. And then same thing over here, 1.5. Clip in place, and that will ensure that our pocket is straight. There's several different ways to do slip pockets, and so I'm just gonna walk you through one way to do it today. So at this moment, what we're going to do is we're gonna go down one side, across the bottom, back up the other side, just to get our pocket in place. And then we'll come back and we'll just we're gonna do probably 3 different compartments throughout so that you have 3 little slip pockets instead of 1 large one. Now, if you wanted to use this for tech or something like that, you can obviously leave it bigger. It's basically whatever you're making this bag for, that's what size you want to make your slip pockets. And just remember, your sides are going to get sewn into your seams, so it's okay if the stitch isn't perfect. We're going 1/8 inch across the bottom. And to be totally honest, really no one's going to see this bottom stitch either, so I would not worry about it. Especially if you're using a thread that's non-contrasting. All right, our pocket is in place now. Okay, obviously it's too big as it is. And so what we're going to do is, just to further secure the bottom, we're going to start over here at the bottom, just 1/8 of an inch up from our bottom stitch. We'll go over, we'll come up, go over 1, come down, and then we'll continue on until we get to the next place in which we want to make our pockets. You could measure this and make them exact. I am not going to measure, but seriously, feel free if you want to. I'm just going to sort of wing it, so I'm just going to make a few probably marks here. Not even marks. I'm just going to pivot up when I feel like I want to. But again, you can definitely be more precise with it than I am. It's really whatever you prefer. And the pattern suggests you make several different pockets and gives you ideas for those. And so definitely follow that as you move through the pattern. Sorry guys, I have some extra thread back there kicking around. All right, so now we're done making our pocket slits. We're just going to continue on all the way back to the other side. Okay, so here we go. We've got slip pocket here, slip pocket here, slip pocket here. You could go ahead and put rivets in if you wish to really secure those places where you have added your slip pocket lines. We have a double on the bottom, so we're sure that the bottom is not going to give out on our pockets, and I feel good with this. So we're going to set this one to the side. We're going to grab our other panel. And this is the one that we're going to put our zipper pocket on. Now, you could do this tote with no pockets, and it'll be faster and more beginner friendly. The more pockets and techniques that you use, the more you're really going to push your skill set. And if you're a beginner and you're really trying to sort of grow in what you're doing, I think adding more to your skill set is definitely the way to go. We're going to find the center of one of our zipper pockets. And we're just going to do a traditional box here. And so, again, it's just another skill building opportunity. So we're lining up our centers, and I will make sure that we are actually lined up. Just eyeballing for now as I get an idea of where I want our piece to go. Okay. And then really what we want to make sure is that we're even as possible. So I'm just measuring. Looks like I'm a little off, but that could be because my cutting is off. So we're just going to go for it. I'm going to grab some hockey tape, hockey clear tape. And I'm just going to tape down our zipper. You can use any tape that you have that will easily remove and not leave any sort of marks. My son is a hockey player, and so hockey tape is in abundance here. As with every other piece of hockey equipment you can imagine. In abundance. All right. So we're just going to line up with our center markings. And the top. And we're gonna go drawing our zipper box here. So this is our center. So we've made a straight line, 7 inches in length. And then we're gonna go ahead and just come down a 1/2 inch on that line. Okay. And that's the bottom of our box. And here we go. Make the sides, and that should ensure that our zipper is going to be directly in the center, even if our cutting was not perfect. So what we're going to do at this moment is we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew all the way around our zipper box. Thread is giving me trouble today. Okay. You know what it is? It's because it's a pretty good sized bag, and so it's catching it, and it doesn't typically because I've been making smaller bags. So there we go. All right, and make sure you backstitch at the beginning and the end. And so this is probably going to be hard to see, but we did put right sides together and we just sewed around our entire box. So now we can take off our tape. Okay. And we're gonna grab our ruler again. And this time we're just going to come 1/4 inch down from our top marking, and that's going to be our center. Okay. And then we just want to draw our Y's from the corner to our center mark. You can use a ruler if you wish. You're going to sort of wing it. We're gonna wing it. So you can see here, these are our Y's, and we're just going to cut straight across, and then we're gonna come out and we're gonna cut all the way to the corner without cutting through our stitching, which is very important. So we're just ripping down the center until we can get some scissors in there. We're cutting through both the zipper pocket piece and the main interior. I'm coming to that Y and just cutting up. Same thing on this side. All right. Now what I like to do, I don't even know if it makes a difference. I just like to push, sort of crease where we just sewed that box. And then we're gonna flip right through that center that we just cut open. And I do like to clip it while we get our zipper tape ready. So we will do that. Now you just want to finger press, and because our zipper panel piece is the same as our interior, it's not going to be a huge deal if you get some of the inside pocket sort of peeking out, which happens sometimes. You just want to get your finger in there and push out the seam. We're going to use clippies. Okay, now the bottom. This is the first way to do a zipper pocket that I learned when I was expanding my sewing skills from just pouches to other things. And if you've watched me before, you know I'm self-taught. I learned how to sew on YouTube, and that's really what drove me to get into YouTube myself and start making tutorials, is because I watched by watching others, and I really just wanted to give back to the community that taught me all these things that I just absolutely love. So, all right. So see, we've just we're just training our fabric to basically stay where we want it. So we're giving it just that moment to be. All right. Now we're going to take our zipper, not our main zipper, so make sure you grab your other one. I'm going to put on our pull. And there's always one side of zipper teeth that has a coil first, and that's the one that you want to try to get sort of in place. That will ensure you don't get a bump in your zipper. Okay, so we're on just slightly. We're going to grab our double-sided tape. And just make sure that you're using double-sided tape you know your machine can handle. So we're putting our double-sided tape right at the top of our zipper tape. Okay. We're going to do that on the top and the bottom. Push it down real good. I want our zippers to close to the left and open to the right, so I'm just making sure that this is the end that's going to remain over here. And so now we're just going to peel off the other side of our double-sided tape. And this is Dritz Wash Away double-sided tape. If you've never used double-sided tape before, I highly suggest you grab some. I got mine from Amazon. And it's a good way to start to learn how to use double-sided tape, to figure out like what your needles and machines can handle. Again, we're doing a beginner-friendly tote today, so I'm going to provide some beginner-friendly tips too, so don't come after me if you know these things already. Please. All right, we're just going to take our clips out. Our fabric, it's not going to stay. We're going to have to make sure we push and pull and do all those good things, but I think the clips help. So you could also iron it if you're using material that you can iron. Totally up to you, whatever your vibe is. So now what we're going to do is we are just going to take our zipper, keeping it in the direction that we want. We're going to lift up our panel. We're going to try to center. Our zipper is longer than what we need, which is totally fine. Okay, and we're just going to pop that in. See zipper tape coming out both sides. So we're good. We're going to push down on that tape. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to sew all the way around our box. Just being mindful of these sides here. They always get a little bulky because you have that zipper tape in there. I like to start at the bottom and go around. So that's what we're going to do. Just ensure that you lift everything all together and place it so that nothing comes out from where you want it. Okay? And when you go around a zipper box, you're doing so at about 1/8 of an inch. Okay? Again, just taking our time here. Readjusting as needed. I'm going to pull my zipper, pull out of the way now. And I can see my underneath panels pop in a little bit, so we're just going to pull it down. We're also just going to take this opportunity to cut that length of our thread. And then we're coming back on where we started. Perfect. And there we go. Zipper box complete on the front. I think I have some let's see here. I have some bonus tags from the Heartwood and Hide Co. Let me just take a look and see if anything that we have might be good. Maybe that's outside. All right, maybe not. I was gonna suggest we maybe add in a cute little tag, but that's okay. We'll just use our tag on the front. Yeah, the other one's black. All right, no worries. So we're gonna flip this, okay? Now to complete our zipper panel, we're just going to match up our other zipper panel piece and clip together. It will be a little different sized because of the addition of the zipper and the turning and everything we did with the other panel, but that's totally fine. And we're just clipping all the way around. Because we're gonna totally close off this pocket. Okay, so now we're gonna reflip. We're gonna move our main interior out of the way. We're gonna come in here and just sew all the way around our zipper pocket, making sure that we continue to move our main exterior panel just right out of the way. We're sewing at a 3/8 inch seam allowance from our smaller of the two panels, just FYI. Again, just continuing to push this right on out of the way. And then right along the top we go. All right, you guys, so that is a completed zipper pocket. So easy, so fast. Just gonna burn our ends really quick down here. But yes, so now we're good. I am just going to clip off our excess zippers and burn those edges down as well. Now you burn the ends of anything that could fray to keep it from fraying, so it basically seals itself right in there. You could trim up your pocket as well while you're back here, but you do not have to because it's not going to get in the way of any of your seams. It's not going to get in the bottom, and it's not going to get in the sides either because it is far enough away from all of those things that it doesn't really matter. So now we're done with both of our interior sides. We can go ahead and prep our top zipper, and then we'll add our handles to our exterior panels and our nameplate, and then we'll be able to put this bag together. So we want to add on our zipper pull first here. Because you're making zipper tabs on both sides, you do want to make sure that before you add the tabs, you go ahead and add your pull. I have forgotten zipper pulls many a times, you guys. And it's always the times when I get really good tabs. Always. It's never the times when I would pick it out and redo it. It's always when they look really good. So there's that. So if you ever do a really good zipper tab, make sure you look down and say, huh, did I remember the pull? All right. Now because we're putting tabs on, we're just going to seal our ends first before sewing. I do think that sealing the ends is a critical step. Now we're going to take our tabs and we're going to put them right side down. So right side to right side of your zipper. Okay, on both sides. And we're just gonna sew together. Halfway there. So then what we do is take our fabric, we'll turn our zipper so that the wrong side is facing us, and we can see the wrong side of our tab, and we're basically just folding this up to the halfway mark and then over again, and that will give us that closed zipper end. Okay, so we'll do it one more time on the other side. So I'm just going to clip this for now. So we're looking at the wrong side of our zipper. Okay, we're flush down. We're going to fold our open tab end in half and then over again, and that will cover the stitching that we just did and fully enclose our zipper. And then we'll just stitch together. Depending on your choice of material, this could be bulky, so definitely keep that in mind. Just taking our time here. I'm going to hand stitch over. It's not that big of a distance. I've hand stitched over more. And this is because we're using that quilted fabric here. Okay. We did skip a couple stitches, which makes me think we are going to have to change our needle soon. And I'm just going to quickly go off camera and fix any of our stitching, which has nothing to do with the pattern. Strictly about the materials we chose. And sort of button that up. And then we'll come back together and put on our handles. Okay, so we're back. I have done one handle off camera. I'm going to do the other one with you, so don't stress. But while we're here on this panel, I want to go ahead and add our bag tag. And so what I've done is just followed our line straight down the center. I've also chosen to add rivets instead of doing the X through the center. But when you're sewing, if you're beginning, you don't have rivets or a cam snap press or anything like that, you can omit the rivets and just do your X right in the center. So when you're at the corner, you'd go down, across, back up, and then across the top again. Whichever is going to work for you. I have my silver marking pen. Just going to take the prongs out from our bag tag. Like so. And our washer, the bag tag lines up with the ends of our washer. And so each side has 4 So our center is going to come right here in the middle. And I'm just gonna mark our ends where we want to seam rip. Okay, just like so. Grab our seam ripper. And we're just going to see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we've got our silver marks. Just going to go in and up slightly, not too much. And same thing over here, okay? And we'll take our bag tag and we'll stick it in. We don't need anything extra because, again, we are quilted already. We are going to make sure we're straight. Okay, and then we'll fold our prongs in on themselves, like so. We'll take a look at this again. Looks pretty straight on. We do need some tape here. Tape. You guys, where's the tape? Oh, I see some. All right, I'm gonna go grab some really quickly, and what we wanna do is just tape over our prongs here so that we don't sorry guys. Sorry. We just don't want our prongs to eat away at our lining fabric. Oh good, messing everything up. To eat away at our lining fabric at all. Looks like we're still okay here, all right? Good. In any capacity over time. And so putting a little bit of tape, we just have some duct tape. That will help ensure that our prongs are not gonna get anywhere near our lining fabric. Just like so. Okay. So now our bag tag is in, and let's do our last strap together. So there is no right or wrong side of our webbing. We just want to make sure that it's not twisted. It's all going the way we want it. And we're going to take our double-sided tape once again, and we are going to fold over so we don't have a raw edge. And this is a little different than the pattern. Again, they have fabric straps that you're making. I prefer webbing for straps. Not because I think fabric straps don't look good. I think they look great. But I don't know, I just like webbing. I use it if I can. All right, so I'm just sticking it down here right at the base of our webbing. And that will make it so that we can fold it over. So just a teeny piece is needed right at the bottom. We're going to fold it up 1 inch. Okay, so I just have my little square here, and we want these to be even with the front. We're just gonna clip it briefly while we wait. We'll do the other side. Sorry, double-sided tape issue. Okay, there we go. And same thing, 1 inch up. Okay, and we'll clip just to hold in place. Now we need our double-sided tape again. We're going to put our double-sided tape right up the center. Like so, here. Okay, push that down. Same thing over here. Okay. Now we're going to remove the other side of our double-sided tape. And our clips. Same thing. All right, now the pattern has measurements for where we're going to put these, and we're going to follow those exactly. Just quickly going to find our centers. All right. So, like I said, we are going to follow and so what we're doing is we're just taking what's in the pattern and we're lining up with that marking. And we're going to sew an inch rectangle here or box, depending on the measurements that you have. If you're using 1 inch webbing, it'll be an inch. We're using 3/4, so it's a little bit of a rectangle. So I'm just marking up from the bottom that 1 inch. And then we're going to come over to the other side and do the exact same thing. Same measurements as in the pattern. Sorry for my head. Just getting where we need to be. Okay. And once again, that 1 inch mark. I'm just using chalk now, so I guess we're using all the goodies. This is just a chalk pen. All right. Gonna remove everything that we used to measure. And now we're just, because we're doing rivets in the center, we're gonna sew a box. But like I mentioned before, if you're not doing rivets, you would just do your X right in the center, and that's gonna make it just as strong. So not a worry if you don't have a rivet machine. I'm just also a really bad top stitcher. I swear I'm a good sewer, even though it sounds like I'm not, because I'm bad at all these things, but that's why I like to use rivets in the center. We are gonna backstitch. You can pull your threads through if you want. We're not using something that is going to be super seen, so I'm not worried. we're just going up to that mark. We're pivoting around. We're going to go straight across to the other side. I am just going to cut our extra thread from where we started. Okay, same thing over here. Okay, just gonna do a quick little burn. There you go, guys. So like I said, you could do the X. I'm just gonna use my silver marking pen super quick. I'm gonna mark right in the center, and this is just an eyeball. And that's where I'm gonna pop my rivets in. So I'm gonna do that and secure those in place, and then we'll come back together and we're gonna put our bag together. We're on the final step. All right, you guys. Let me check my thread really quick. My bobbin. Oh yeah, we're hot, we're good to go, okay. We're in there. Now I have our front panel piece. We're going to attach this first, and then I have our slip pocket interior. That's what I want to be the back side of our front part of our bag. I want the zipper pocket in the back. So the one thing that we still have to do is just mark our center of our zipper. I don't like to cut into zipper tape, so I am just going to use an air erasing pen to mark the center. You can cut into zipper tape, totally up to you. I just don't like to add any parts that could possibly fray. Okay, so we've got our center. And now we do want to keep in mind, I want this to close to the left. So we're going to mark it this way. Make sure this stays out of the way. And now really what we're doing is putting together a pouch, which is why this is such a beginner friendly bag. So we're just matching up our center markings. And clipping all the way down. Okay, you could baste this on if you want to. We are not. So again, we have our zipper tape right side down. So the right side is facing the right side of our exterior. Okay, now we're going to take our interior. We're going to put that right side down, so that right sides are right sides together. Making sure that our handle stays out of the way. We did cut our handles at 33 inches in length, so something to keep in mind. And we're just adding this into our clips, okay? Just adding. And we're just trying to make sure, there we go. We're lined up in the center. All right, good to go. Good to go. So now we're just sewing together at the seam allowance in the pattern, or whatever the foot you have on will allow you to do, okay? All the way across. Keep in mind, you are going to come across this bulky bit where your zipper tab is, and you do want to make sure that is sewn on appropriately. We're going to grab just a bit of fabric here to use as almost like a hump jumper as we come down, okay? Okay, and we're coming to our zipper pull, and so I'm just gonna reach in and I'm gonna move that past our foot. Make sure it stays out of the way. Now I'm just double checking that we didn't miss anything, and we did in fact, when we tried to hump jump, miss a little bit of stitching. So we're just gonna go back in. Double check that. Here we just want to make sure that we are stitched in. All right, we are. I'm just going to cut our extra zipper tab pieces down. Ours were a little long. Okay, we're going to open and pull back. Oh yeah. Oh, she's a cutie, you guys. Okay. We are going to top stitch, but we are going to top stitch basically in between our zipper tabs. Normally you would go over your zipper tab, but this, it's a thickie right here, okay? And so I want to make sure that we're not going to get any sort of wonky top stitching or anything like that. And so we are going to avoid. Okay? So we're just finger pressing, pulling our fabric away, and we're going to do a nice little top stitch here. And the big thing with top stitching is just make sure that you continually pull your fabric away from that zipper. You don't want any bubbles or bumps or anything like that. And make sure your zipper pulls out of the way. We're just going to come from this side to finish up. We had a little problem here with our zipper tab. And so we're just going to come from this side. There we go. So I think if you're newer to bag making, I would make your zipper tabs out of something that's really lightweight, and then you don't have to worry about the troubleshooting aspect of how to get around sort of that bulk. Okay, there we go, top stitched. We're just going to add on our other side exactly the same way, which I'll do off camera. I'll save you the trouble. We're just gonna, and I'll just show you. So this time around, we're gonna go match up your centers, right? And clip all the way across. And then you're gonna take your zipper panel. So you're going right side up to right side, okay? And right side to right side. And that's how you'll attach your back. Again, exactly the same way as we just did. And then we'll come back together and we're going to do our final sew of the bag. All right. So our zipper is totally sewn in. We're just going to make sure it's moved to the center so that it stays out of our way. And now, like I said, this is where we really get to like a pouch. So we're just going to line up our seams here. Okay, exterior first and all the way down. And then same thing on the other side, making sure that your handles stay just tucked in there nicely, okay? I am going to switch to my tank foot from Soulful Therapy, which I can't link because it's not in stock, but it's a little thinner than my walking foot. Okay. All right, and then we'll just do the bottom. So again, you can see I don't line up perfectly, and I never do. It's okay. Something like this here, where you have extra on one side, that is not a make or break for your bag. And then you're just going to follow that same clip pattern. And you guys, the reason I'm switching to the tank foot is because our zipper tab, it's so close to the edge. So close. We're gonna struggle with that. I probably would have taken about a 1/2 inch off the zipper length of the main zipper. And when I make that again, that's what I'll do. And that would ensure that we still have a nice close zipper tab, but not so close that it's gonna cause us issues when we're sewing. And if you're beginning, the last thing you want is to create issues for yourself. So just with that in mind, I would take a 1/2 inch off the total length of your main zipper. All right. I am going to clip all the way across our bottom, but we're not going to sew all the way across our bottom. We're going to turn our bag through the bottom. So we're going to leave that open part of the way. So we'll sew here and here, probably about 1.5 inches in on both sides, leaving the rest open, and that will allow us to still box our corners, but be able to sew our bag together. So we're going to sew all the way down, both sides, both long sides, all the way across our bottom, partly across our interior bottom, and then we'll box our corners and then turn our bag. I'm just going to switch to the tank foot. So that we can maybe get a little bit closer to our zipper tabs than we would be able to with our walking foot. Okay, here's our tank foot. It still walks, and so that's why I like it. It's good for heftier material. However, it is a little thinner than our walking foot. So we'll see if we can make this work. We are just going to smush, smush, smush our tabs. Make sure that's nice and tight. Recatch our bobbin. All right, we're going to start down here. We're gonna do about 1/4 inch on our exterior, and then we'll do a little bit wider on our interior. So we'll probably go up to a 3/8 of an inch. And this material, it's heavy, and so you're gonna have to sort of keep that in mind. Smush with your whole arm. Make sure it doesn't pull your bag one way or the other. Okay, we are getting up to the zipper tab. Just going to try to keep it moving as good as we can past the tab. Okay, and now we're sort of getting back to what would be a seam allowance that would be good for the interior. We're going to check our zipper tab area. So we're at this 3/8 of an inch now. That covers all of our stitching and back stitching for our slip pocket. Okay. Well, we stitched it together and managed to catch everything. Wild. I can't believe it. All right. So now we're just going to come across, still at that 3/8 of an inch because we're doing the interior. Oh. Hold. We lost some thread here, you guys. How? I don't know. But that's okay. Stuff happens. All right, recatch our bobbin. Do you have to do that? Definitely not, but I do. Here we go. And like I said, just about 1.5 inches in, back stitching. Both sides. All right, now, here we go. Our other side. Again, we're getting to the zipper tabs. So we're going to make that seam allowance much smaller. And then work our way back to our exterior seam allowance. Okay. Did we catch it? We did. Crazy. All right. Now I can see our handles have sort of shifted towards the bottom, and we definitely don't want that. We're going to sew this one all the way together. Now the instructions have you putting a base inside of this bag. We are not doing that, but you certainly can. And you would input it basically after you turn the bag. So just note, we are not doing that. But you can, it's an option. All right, so boxed corners, you guys, you're just matching up your seams. And you want them to be basically as flat as possible. We are going to butterfly our seams, not nest. And butterfly just means you open to both sides. Nesting would be if the bottom closed over here and the top over there. There is really, I don't know what the benefit of each is other than this is what we're doing. I don't know. Okay, so we're just lining up those center marks, and that will ensure that we have a nice flat box. And you want this nice angle here on the side. Okay, so we'll go ahead and box all of our bottoms the same way, interior and exterior. And you're just lining up those stitch marks, your seams that you already have. We're going to sew these together with the same seam allowance that we used. So 1/4 for the exterior and 3/8 for the interior. I think one of the things that beginner bag makers get stuck on is sort of like instructions and sticking to like exactly the pattern. And so I just think it's important to note that there are definitely things that you can do that are not going to mess up your bag. Most of the time, if you do something different or by accident, it is not a catastrophe, and you're going to end up with a bag that's better than what most people can make. And that's just the reality of it. I spend a lot of time, I'm super hard on myself. It doesn't sound like it because I'm like, oh, I can't cut straight. Oh, I can't this, I can't that. But, you know, if I struggle with a bag, I lose sleep over it. I do, which is crazy to me because it does not have to be that serious. And I know that, and I am telling you that, preaching. And sometimes still that preaching, it gets to me, not the preaching, but, you know, messing something up. If I think it should be something I can do, and I can't do it, I 100% am so hard on myself. So I get it, but trust me, trust the process. You definitely do not have to worry if you don't do something perfectly or like somebody else does. It took me a long time to learn that, and I'm still trying to understand that myself. So, all right, we're just boxing all the way across, and so you just want to start before, like right in that crease, okay, that lines up, has your fabric lining up with your seam allowance. Make sure your butterfly stays open. And we're just gonna just snip, snip anything a little extra. Okay, same thing on this side. Just make sure your butterfly stays open. And same thing, because we just want to reduce bulk, we're just going to cut off any extra little tidbits. Okay, so that's good for now. So now we're going to do our exterior, and here's where we want to make sure we're super precise. Exterior is always going to be more important than the interior. Okay. So I'm just making sure our butterfly lies flat, that we are lined up. All the way. Perfect. Perfect. Got a good sew, and then we'll just do the same thing over here. Again, just making sure that underneath layer butterfly stays open as you lay it down. Okay, boxed. Let's see how she looks. Just gonna reach in, make sure our zipper is open, pull a corner, and then right on out through our bottom that we left nice and open. The turn is always the fun part. Okay, now we just want to reach in, push out our corners on the bottom, come up here to the top. We're going to push out our tabs, which might be difficult. There we go. One side. And the other. Actually looks like maybe we need to add one stitch over here. And so we're just, so it looked like maybe we missed just a hot bit of our bag here. And so we're just gonna re-sew quickly. All right, let me find this again. All right, right here, we're just gonna take this it's because we have to get so close. Pop that out again. So again, see, anything's fixable. There we go, we got it this time. Perfect, okay. Oh yeah, you guys, this is so cute. Okay. Now we are just popping out our corners on our interior. And the last step for us is just going to be closing up our hole. So when you do that, you're just going to put your fingers right in there and the fabric will fold over on itself, okay? How? I don't know. Some sort of fabric magic. We're just going to clip it where it wants to go. Already, naturally, okay. And then we're gonna sew it together. And we are using white thread here, so I'm not concerned. Again, this is the interior of the bag. The white is gonna blend. You're not gonna see it. If you were worried, you could have left your zipper pocket open and gone ahead and pulled your bottom through your zipper pocket and then closed your zipper pocket. Cutting up excess. We're all closed up. And you probably can't even see it from there, which is why I said you definitely don't have to worry. All right, we just gotta put this, I'm just burning the loose ends of the thread, put this in the bag and check out our final product. All right, you guys, we're done. We finished our tote bag, the beginner bag from Pink Pony Designs, and she's a beaut. .33-inch straps, has it hanging so that it's not right up there underneath. Okay, we did use rivets. In the center, you could again do the X. We have our bag tag here, metal. And then we have our inside, our zipper pocket on the back here. And then on the front side, we do have our slip pocket with our slip pocket facing into 3 different sections, okay? And there we go. We got our box corners. Look at that pretty box. I love the way that our quilted fabric comes together on the side. Again, we used a pre-quilted fabric. We didn't quilt it ourselves. We cheated a little bit, and that's okay. It is okay. But this is so cute. She's such a cutie. I'm a fan. It's an easy tote bag. I love a tote bag that zips at the top because sometimes I feel like my open top tote bags are easily accessible, like too much for other people. So having a tote bag that zips in your pattern arsenal is going to be super important as you move through your sewing journey. And I just think that this is perfect. You saw I struggled a tidbit with our zipper tabs. And so my suggestion if you make this is to take a ½ inch off your top zipper measurement, okay? And that will just ensure that whatever you use for your tabs is gonna stay far away from the edges. You're not gonna have to go back like I did and re-sew over anything to make sure you got it. You'll be all set with that. Other than that, and adding the top to our slip pocket, we really didn't make too many modifications. It's an easy, quick sew, and if you choose to do some of the things a little differently, you don't do a zipper pocket inside, or maybe you omit the slip pocket or just do a small slip pocket, you're going to be able to do it even faster, and the more you do this, the faster you will be at it. I do think it's super cute. This is perfect for fall with these little gray and whites as you move into a different season. It's a good shape, right? She's cute. She is cute. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate you. I hope you'll make one of these. Again, it's a free bag. It's a free pattern. You can just make it up with something you have in your stash. If your stash looks like mine, you got a lot of choices. Anyways, I hope you'll have fun with it. Make it your own. Do something beautiful today. And I will see you soon.